the recent Emerson poll that just came out today, you know, everything's been doom and gloom. Bernie, you need to drop out. You're too old, blah, blah, blah. You had a heart attack. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are essentially tied for first place nationally. Bernie Sanders is up 3 points compared to the last Emerson poll. Elizabeth Warren, I believe, is around the same at 21%. What is really important here, and I also think why Alexandria Ocasio Cortez's endorsement matters so much. Here we go. Sanders continues to dominate the age 18 to 29 group with 45% of the vote, followed by Warren at 17%. That's a pretty big gap. Andrew Yang, 15%. As we know, as the voters get older, Sanders sees his support drop. So I think what you're seeing with this AOC endorsement is Bernie's doubling down on the young. I don't want to exclude my older voters who feel the burn. We love you. I'm not saying older people are dumb, but by the data, Bernie overall doesn't do well with older people because more older people are establishment. You might not be, as an older viewer watching this, but most of your compatriots in your age group are drinking that steady diet of gradualism. So Bernie is saying, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time anymore trying to pick off these older folks who are, buy this BS of the Russian boogeyman and, socialism is communism. I'm going to try and expand the electorate. I'm going to try and bring out even more young people in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada, California. And those people generally will not show up on polls because a lot of them never voted before and a lot of them don't show up as likely voters. Thus, they don't get phone calls from polling companies. So I've been saying for a while, there is a bit of I guess you could call it a hidden Bernie Sanders supporter that isn't being polled, and thus it's showing him in some polls in a distant third and fourth place in some polls. So I want to show you another part of this poll. That is very, very interesting. So Biden leads those who supported Clinton in 2016 with 42%, followed by Warren at 16% and Sanders with 14%. That's actually surprising that Sanders is even close with Warren as far as people who supported Clinton. Everybody just assumed Elizabeth Warren was getting most of Hillary Clinton's support. Joe Biden is. And the fact that Bernie even has 14% support among Hillary Clinton's 2016 voters is pretty impressive. Sanders holds a lead among those who supported him in the 2016 primary with 39% support, followed by Warren with 25% and Biden with 12%. I don't know what's more stunning to me, the fact that 25% of Bernie Sanders supporters from 2016 have switched to Elizabeth Warren, or the fact that there is 12% of Bernie Sanders supporters who now support Joe Biden. That is shocking to me. Utterly shocking. So I'm going to tackle the Elizabeth Warren point first, that there are 25% of Bernie Sanders supporters that are that switch to Elizabeth Warren, which, again, I don't understand. 25% of Bernie Sanders supporters from 2016. For the 25% of Bernie Sanders supporters from 2016 who are now supporting Elizabeth Warren, here's what I'd like to understand. If you supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, obviously you are somewhat progressive. If you supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, obviously you knew he was an older candidate then. He was still in his mid-70s in 2016. If you supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, one of the big reasons you supported him was Medicare for all. If you supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, one of the big reasons you supported him is he, unlike Hillary Clinton, was not going to be a crazy warmonger. So what I don't understand, and again, I'm not knocking these people as bad or stupid. People have their reasons for doing things. But 25% of you, if Medicare for all was a top issue for you, you've switched over to somebody who has a plan for everything but Medicare for all. You switched over to, if the wars and Bernie Sanders' position against this endless voyeurism around the world, Elizabeth Warren has voted for every single one of Donald Trump's massive defense budgets. I don't get it. I mean, if you supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, yes, he's 78. Yes, he had a heart attack, but did you just see his debate performance? Did you just see him on stage with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez? It just, I don't quite get it. I just don't quite get what would be the reason for you to switch from Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren. I agree, Elizabeth Warren has some positive positions, but part of why you supported Bernie Sanders is you trust him. He's been consistent. You don't have to question whether he's going to fight for the things he's standing for. Do you have that same confidence with Elizabeth Warren? Because 25%, that's a big chunk of Bernie Sanders supporters from 2016 to go to her. Then, for the 12% of Bernie Sanders supporters that moved to Joe Biden? I mean, do you want to drown? Do you want to go down in an epic Titanic crash? I mean, what are you thinking, 12% of you? These people I will call idiots. Joe Biden is not a progressive. Joe Biden is not a Democrat. Joe Biden is a Republican. He's also literally squandering the donations he has on private jets and lavish hotel rooms. So 12% of you, you need to get your head examined. You need to stop voting against your own interests. You need to come back to Bernie. Because if 12% of Bernie supporters that are now stunningly supporting Joe Biden come home, Bernie Sanders would skyrocket to first place in almost every poll. That's a huge chunk of support for Biden. I think you would also see it show up in Iowa and New Hampshire as Bernie going to first if those people that are fleeing to Joe Biden come back. That I don't understand. It's not an age thing because Joe Biden is just as old. And clearly, you could see a difference in cognitive capabilities between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. So I think that's shocking to me. Truly, truly stunning that many people have gone to Joe Biden. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.